All right, let's dive into a concept that is, without a doubt, shaping our world in ways we're only just beginning to understand. It's called digital capital, and honestly, it might be the secret key to figuring out who really gets ahead in the 21st century. So let's break it down. I want to kick things off by asking you a question. It sounds a little philosophical, but stick with me. Do you live one life or two? Because for most of us in this day and age, it's a very real, practical question. You know exactly what I'm talking about. On one hand, you've got your offline life. That's your job, your family, your community, face-to-face stuff. But then there's your online life, that whole other world of social media, remote work, and endless digital connections. We're all constantly hopping between these two realities. But here's the thing that's always been a puzzle. We're all swimming in the same digital ocean, right? So why is it that some people seem to surf the waves, turning a TikTok account into a full-blown career, while the rest of us just kind of get tossed around by the current? Why do some people find life-changing opportunities online, while others just find arguments and cat videos? Now, the easy answer, the one we all jump to, is money. You just need a faster computer or a better phone, and boom, you're set. But that's not it. Just owning the expensive gear, what a sociologist might call your economic capital, that really doesn't explain the huge gap we see. So, okay, if it's not money, it's got to be education, right? A fancy degree, your cultural capital, must be the ticket. But we all know that's not the whole story either. I mean, think about it. You probably know people with PhDs who can't figure out a simple app, and people who never finished college who are absolute wizards at building online communities. To really get what's going on here, we have to look at it through a different lens. There was this brilliant sociologist, Pierre Bourdieu, who said that capital isn't just about money. He argued it's any resource you can build up over time that gives you power or an edge. And that brings us to a whole new type of capital for our modern world. And here it is. This is the big idea we're unpacking today: digital capital. The source material defines it as the pileup of your digital skills and the digital tech you have. It's not just one or the other. It's the combination. It's a whole new kind of power. So let's break that down, because this is where it gets really interesting. Digital capital has two parts. First, you've got your externalized resources. This is the easy stuff to see. The tools. Your phone, your laptop, your software, how good your internet is. But the second part, and this is absolutely crucial, is your internalized abilities. This is the stuff inside your head. The skills, the know-how, and just the sheer confidence to use those tools to get something done. It's the difference between owning a top-of-the-line guitar and actually knowing how to play it. Probably the best way to wrap your head around this is to picture digital capital as a bridge. It's the thing that connects your real, tangible, offline life with all the possibilities waiting for you in the online world. And the most important thing to remember is it's a two-way bridge. Okay, so let's look at the first direction of traffic. We don't just show up online as a blank slate, right? We're taking all of our offline resources, our money, our education, our friend groups, and we're investing them into what we do online. It's just common sense. Someone who has a big circle of friends in real life is going to have a much easier time getting their first 100 followers online. That's traffic flowing from the offline world to the online one. But here's the magic. This is the return journey. This is where we take all that stuff we did online, the network we built, the skills we learned, and we cash it in for real-world benefits. You use your LinkedIn network to land an amazing new job. You take an online coding course and get a raise. You build an Etsy shop that actually helps pay the rent. These are what sociologists call life chances, and this is where the internet can really change things for you. So what you have is this constant back and forth. Researchers have a great name for it, a double loop. Your offline life shapes what you can do online, and what you do online turns around and shapes your opportunities in your offline life. They just keep feeding each other over and over again. Let's make this super concrete with a perfect example: a social media influencer. So step one, they invest their offline capital. They use their savings for a good camera, and they hit up their existing friends to be their first followers. Step two, they start building their digital capital. They learn about photography, they figure out the algorithm, they learn how to talk to their audience. Step three, that translates into successful online activity. Their content goes viral. And then step four, the return trip. They turn that online fame back into offline rewards. Paid sponsorships, which is economic capital, and industry respect, which is social capital. You see? That's the double loop, right there in action. Okay, so we've got this cool idea of a two-way bridge, this double loop, but why does any of this really matter? What's the big deal?
Well, it's a huge deal because it completely changes how we need to think about something called the digital divide. You know, that gap between the people who get all the benefits from technology and those who get left behind. For the longest time, we thought about this divide in really simple terms. At first, it was just about access, the haves and the have-nots. Do you have a computer or don't you? That was the first level. Then, once more people got online, the conversation shifted to the second level, use. Okay, you're online, but what are you doing? Are you learning skills and applying for jobs, or are you just wasting time? But now we're realizing the most important level is the third one, outcomes. What actual, tangible, real-world benefits are you getting out of it? And check this out. The whole concept of digital capital maps perfectly onto this evolution. That first component, your external resources, your tools, that lines up perfectly with the first level of the divide, access. The second component, your internalized abilities, your skills, that explains the second level, use. And finally, digital capital as a whole, your ability to work that entire double loop, that's what determines the third and most critical level, your outcomes. It all clicks into place. So here's the bottom line. Your amount of digital capital is an incredibly powerful force. For people who are already starting with advantages in the offline world, having high digital capital can just make them even more successful, basically reinforcing the status quo. But, and this is the hopeful part, for others, building up their digital capital could be a game changer. It could be the way they build a bridge to opportunities they never would have had otherwise. And that brings it all back to a final, really personal question. I want you to think about your own access, your own skills. Think about that two-way street between your offline and online lives. Is your digital capital building a bridge for you? Or is a lack of it, maybe, creating a barrier?